Welcome back to Centered Gaming. For now, I've put away my toys and wires, the so-called black spaghetti, so I can just talk a bit about a few things. Just note in my video, I can't always film with ideal circumstances. So I'm playing some music to drown out the ambient noise. You may hear a dog barking or a family member or two yell in the background. Just understand it's the nature of my life. Now, when I talk about centered gaming, I'm not talking about some heavenly bliss and nirvana, nor do I mean gaming itself is going to reveal some ultimate truth to you. What I mean is that gaming should be so satisfying that when you are finished, you can re-enter your actual real life having been satisfied with the gaming experience, that you don't have your attention on the game anymore when you come back to real life. Similarly, gaming should be so immersive that you can forget about your daily life while doing it. Most of my videos focus on that last part, giving you advice on how to have more fun gaming by getting the most out of your equipment. Now, on this video, I want to talk a little bit about gaming addiction and how addiction and satisfaction, interest and fulfillment are like opposites. You got that? Addiction, satisfaction, interest, fulfillment. They're opposites. And I want to tell you how to determine whether you or someone you know is actually a gaming addict versus someone who just games a lot. Now, if you suspect that you're a gaming addict, then one of two things is happening. Either you aren't satisfied with your gaming, or you aren't satisfied with your life. And my videos, at least, with that former, I can help you with that by recommending new ways to play, better games, better equipment, and so on and so forth. I've already done this with some of my videos, and there will be more on that to come. But if you are gaming because something's wrong with your life, and you are indeed a gaming addict, I do have a little bit of advice for you. And at least I can tell you the one question you need to ask to determine whether or not you or someone else is a gaming addict. And that question is, drumroll please, when it comes to any non-physical addiction, like for instance things that fall outside the scope of drugs and alcohol, which are harmful no matter what, this is the question you need to ask to determine whether or not one is an addict. Does this activity keep that person from taking care of themselves and fulfilling their responsibilities? If the answer is yes, you got an addict on your hands. If the answer is no, leave that person alone about it, or stop feeling guilty about it if you are the person in question. And don't let others tell you that you are an addict, because you're not. Parents, take note on this. If your kid gets up and falls asleep when they should, gets good grades, has a normal social life, and all that good stuff, then leave them alone about their gaming. Come to think of it, spouses should take note on this too. I'll tell you about a time when my wife was in the hospital. Whenever I left after visiting, the nurses would tell her how nice and attentive I was to her and how lucky she was to have a guy like me. But my wife said, "But he plays video games." The nurses asked her, "Well, does he go out to bars?" "No." "Is he home most of the time?" Yes." The nurses assured her that she was lucky because they had men who would not be home, went to bars, drank, and did who knows what with who knows who while they were gone. So, after that, my wife, for the most part, laid off of me about gaming. But I'll tell you about what happened with another couple. My wife and I both know. This guy's wife was so anti-gaming, she actually threatened once to smash his PlayStation when he had some friends over and they were playing some golf game on it. Now, this guy wasn't a heavy gamer. His wife should have been more concerned about how much he drank, and still does. Anyway, this militant anti-gaming attitude got her nowhere. Because, you know what the guy does now? He goes to bars and plays T-golf on their machine. She didn't get the guy to stop gaming. And now he's out at bars instead of at home, paying a ton more for his games, drinking while he's doing it, while his wife and kids wait for him to come home. When she's over at my house, I hear her bitch about how much money he spends on that game at the bar. She could have learned from my wife's example and just let her husband be. There's something to be said for having your man engaging in an alcohol-free activity right at home where you can see him. But, I won't mention any names here. If you're watching, you know who you are. And you know my wife and I are right. Gaming is not inherently bad. I remember one time I was about to play bingo with my wife and her family, and I was talking to my daughter and her boyfriend about gaming. And the lady who hosted the bingo interrupted our conversation to say how bad it is for people to game online and how it's so terrible to withdraw from reality like that. This from a lady who is encouraging people to put all their money together and decides who gets all of it based on calling him out random numbers and letters. Think about that. Well, I have nothing against people playing bingo. But if you're going to criticize how other people have fun, that opens the door to others criticizing what you do for fun. And yes, there are people who play bingo to the point where it's detrimental to them, just like someone can game too much. The best advice I can give to someone who thinks they are addicted to gaming or maybe feels they game too much is to simply find something in life they can be as passionate or more passionate about than their gaming. I got to a point of where I felt that way, so I decided to go all out learning foreign languages. I got so enthusiastic about it, I learned several languages at a time. Russian, French, Japanese, and Spanish, to name a few. I have a language learning channel on YouTube called Brent's Language Learning. And though I don't do much with it anymore, I still remember my Spanish well enough to habla my way around Florida fairly well. I've also reached points where I was so satisfied with my gaming that I had to take a break for a while, like when I finished Elden Ring after 330 hours of gameplay. After that, it was super hard to find a worthy next game to play, so I did some drawing for a while. Don't ever think once you've hit a point of satisfaction with gaming that you have to continue for its own sake. It's all about having fun and enjoying life, and there are many ways to do that. I get a lot of satisfaction from doing this YouTube channel. Ironically, I don't game as much as I used to because I'm so fascinated by finding better and better ways to game. I get more enjoyment out of my gaming experience, so I reach satisfaction more quickly than get all excited about telling you and the rest of the world about how to have the same experience. I have more I'd like to say on this subject, but I'll save it for a later time. So, in the meantime, I'm really excited about having some cool stuff coming in the mail soon that I ordered on Amazon and eBay, most notably an old and hard-to-find adapter that allows you to watch 3D movies and play 3D games on your regular TV using that. Maybe you've heard of it. Frame Sequential Style 3D, or better known as Flicker 3D. Basically shows you a frame of what your left eye should see while covering your right eye, then switches back and forth fast enough so that your brain fuses the two as one image. If you don't understand this from my quick explanation, just Google it. It's called Frame Sequential 3D, and was the technology used on the very early 3D television sets. I want to try it first the way the manufacturer intended it to be used. Then I want to experiment with some cool tricks I've thought of to see if they work, and then make some videos showing you how to do the same thing. That's what I'm all about. I drown myself in black spaghetti so that you don't have to. It's the least I can do for those who share one of my passions in life. So, that's a wrap for today. Until next time, have fun gaming and stay centered doing it. And in case you were wondering, yes, I composed that music.